title, that one, it's the second one in. That's when I Googled it. Now it's like tan on the left side. Well, that's why I said, but I don't think there's a number on it. Because when I Googled it, that's what came up was. Because originally I thought it was past George Street. And I never really drove that far down that way. So I checked the numbers out. But when I Googled it, I just Googled was accurate. There was always there's that Johnson, I don't know if it's Johnson or Johnston who shows like van in the driveway. So that's what came up. But Jim Robinson's probably gonna bring up that one. He was back at me why wasn't it on the agenda? I said, not every letter goes on the agenda. It was all letters to the governing body belongs. Did you say it? Maybe 100. No, I emailed them.
Nah.
Yeah, that's what he said.
I saw Terry at my cousin's wedding last week.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. Yeah. So nice. It was an outdoor tent wedding. It was so nice. They really did a nice job.
7 o'clock. The marriage, yes.
Yeah,
I sent that over to the Board of Health.
What a lovely couple. Oh my God, why did they meet?
It's not hard to make you pregnant.
No, I held it together. I really did. I held it together. Are you ready, Nicole?
Did you turn the video on downstairs? Okay.
Good evening, everybody. Please rise for a short prayer and a salute to our flag. Almighty God, grant us the wisdom to make those decisions that are in the best interest of all of our residents. May the Heavenly Father of us all bless those who have given the ultimate sacrifice and service to our nation, and may He watch over and protect our servicemen and women now guarding the gates of freedom. Salute to our flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you all. Jessica, statement of publication once you're all set. Are we turning on or off?
Turning on the mics. Okay. We're good. Take notice that this regular meeting of the mayor and council being held on this 29th day of September 2020 has been advertised and posted in accordance with Open Public Meetings Act, Chapter 231, Public Law 1975.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Councilpersons Conti.
Yeah, I don't see him either.
Councilman Conti, are you on? Okay. Delina?
No, he's down.
Here.
Enriquez?
Present.
Mar?
Here.
Novak?
Here.
Roberts?
Here.
Our professionals, the business administrator?
Present.
CFO?
Is she in the attendees?
Who's that AG 90732 with our hand raised?
Is that maybe,
Okay.
maybe it's Vince or somebody?
Here.
There she is. Thanks, Denise.
Sorry about that. I was on automatic mute.
They didn't, they took their hand down. The engineer?
Here.
Attorney?
Here.
Okay.
All right, then we'll move on to the approval of prior minutes. Council President Novak, please.
Make a motion to approve, subject to correction if necessary, the September 14th regular and agenda session minutes.
Is there a second?
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilpersons Novak?
Yes.
Delina?
Yeah.
Enriquez?
Yeah.
Mar?
Yes.
Roberts?
Yeah.
Hey, Jess, are you able to hear me now?
That's Vince. There's Vince.
Okay, Vince, there you are. Okay, yes, I can hear you now. And, is that yes on, the minutes? Okay. Okay. Vince, is that a yes on the minutes for approval?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Thank you very much, Jess. And so there's no proclamations or presentations. I'll give a very brief COVID-19 update. For the most part, as a state, even the monthly governor's meetings that are usually held with the mayors have now been moved to once a month now, instead of every week like we had been doing for quite some time, and then they moved to bi-weekly. Locally speaking, when it comes to our numbers, I wish I could say that we had a long string of zeros, but much like the rest of the state, we are starting to see 2 and 3 cases at times. We do continue to get maybe 1 or so days of 0, but unfortunately not as many as we would like. We have 866 confirmed positive cases now from the start of the pandemic to today. But one of the trends that I'm sure the rest of the council has seen also is that, much like the rest of the state, the ages of many of our positive cases are now of the younger population. And I mentioned that at our last meeting. I know that the last grouping, the last 2 that came in just the other day, I believe were 19 and 20. This past week, we had, I think, one of our youngest, which was 7. But I do remember several months back, I believe we actually had a 3-year-old as well. So unfortunately, that is what we're seeing throughout the state, and Saraville is no different. I've also been keeping track of where we are from county to county. As you look further into Ocean and Monmouth County, their numbers are going up rather significantly compared to other surrounding areas with some spikes. Middlesex, though, still we are remaining within the top 5 usually when it comes to our positive cases. Middlesex, we are just a more dense county, but it doesn't make me happy when we remain in that top 5. So I ask everybody to still continue to be vigilant. I know as more time goes by and our numbers do, 2 or 3 here and there, we don't think this virus is still among us, but it is. And I just want everybody in our town, as I'm sure the council feels the same way, I want us to be safe, and I want to see our numbers at a 0 more consistently. That does it for our COVID update at this point, so we'll move on now to old business, because I don't think we have a need for exec session, correct? And there's no old business, look at that, and there's no appointments today in our so now we can move on to new business.
Introduction of ordinance number 509-20, an ordinance of the Borough of Saraville in the County of Middlesex, State of New Jersey, adopting amendments to the Hercules redevelopment plan.
That is, this is just for introduction. Yep. So I still need to, no, I don't have to open to the public. I can go right to Kevin. Sorry. You get excited when it's introduction. Kevin Delina, that goes to you, please. Planning and zoning.
Thank you, Mayor. I move the following ordinance be approved on first reading, advertised according to law, and public hearing to be held on October 13, 2020.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilpersons Delina. Yep.
Yes.
Conti.
Yes.
Enriquez.
Yes.
Mar.
Yes.
Novak.
Yes.
Roberts.
I do have a question before I vote. This was not on the agenda meeting the last time we met as new business there, so it jumps right to new business here. And I understand that it's coming from CIRA and that we have to transfer it to planning, but could our attorney give me an explanation about how this came up on the agenda today and what path it's going to take?
Sure. Thanks, Mr. Roberts. So Sarah asked us on Thursday of last week to place this on the agenda. Ms. Roberts is accurate that it was not on the agenda meeting last month. Sarah has requested that it be at least introduced. The matter still has to be referred to the planning board. Any and all changes to the ordinance could delay it in any way. This is, it can be done either way, but Donna is correct that it was not on the agenda, but the redevelopment ordinance does allow for an introduction and then to the planning board, or it can be done, put it back on the agenda meeting and then have it, heard in 2 weeks. But I guess in all honesty, in trying to move projects along, it simply is a way to streamline the process. I have no problem with the way it's done. I will say that I did speak to redevelopment agency or council, and I also spoke to the Hercules Council. We can do this. It's really just an effort to streamline it. It still has to go to the planning board. I do not know if there's going to be any changes to the ordinance, and if it does have any substantial changes, then of course we're going to have to reintroduce the ordinance. But this came about on Thursday when Sarah had requested us to place it on for introduction. But Donna is accurate with respect to the process, but I have no objection to its current form. It's really just an effort to streamline the process.
Thank you.
And just one other follow-up question, if I may.
Yeah.
I did notice that this is going to also be read in full later. Is this the same resolution, or is this something different that's going to...
No, this is the ordinance, and the resolution will be read in full. I think it's, just correct me if I'm wrong, 2020-2033 or 2234. But Jess will read the resolution, just sending it to the planning board. And it calls into attention the redevelopment or statute allowing for this process to occur, and that's what we're doing. So you got the ordinance that you're just introducing, and then you got the resolution that Jen will read here in a few minutes, just authorizing it to send it to the planning board, and then the planning board will review any and all submissions together with the ordinance, and then if the ordinance has any changes, substantial changes, we're going to have to reintroduce anyways.
Okay, so having it a public hearing on 10/13 would not be a rush of this.
No, because I believe the planning board, and correct me if I'm wrong, Jess, I think the planning board meets next week.
Yes, I think the
And
6
so-
or 7.
Right. So if the planning board does not meet prior to our next meeting, it's going to be carried anyways because the planning board has to weigh in on this particular ordinance.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for that explanation. And based on that, I think my vote is mute, but I'll say no to it right now. And that answers. Thank you.
All right, thank you. You're going to continue with,
No, public portion on the.
okay, sounds good. All right, thank you then. We're going to move on to the consent agenda resolutions. I'll open to the public for any and all statements or questions regarding consent agenda resolution items only. Please press star 9 if you have a question regarding any of those items. And let me scroll down. Seeing no hand raises, I will then ask for a motion.
I move the public portion be closed and the consent agenda resolutions be approved on roll call vote.
Thank you, Council President. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. Thank you, Councilman Delina. And then we will move on to, oh, sorry, roll call.
Councilpersons Novak,
Yes.
Conti,
Yes.
Delina,
Yes.
Enriquez,
Yes.
Yes.
Roberts.
Yes.
Okay, now we can move on to our resolution to be read in full. Jessica?
Yes, resolution number 2020-233, a resolution of the Borough of Sayreville Council referring requested amendments to the Hercules redevelopment plan to the Borough Planning Board for review. Whereas the Borough of Sayreville wishes to amend the Hercules redevelopment plan by adopting proposed amendments requested by the Sayreville Economic and Redevelopment Agency, whereas pursuant to NJSA Section 48:12A-7E, prior to the adoption of a redevelopment plan or revision or amendment thereto, the planning board shall transmit to the governing body within 45 days after referral a report containing its recommendation concerning the redevelopment plan. And now therefore it be resolved by the Borough Council of the Borough of Sayreville that the requested amendments to the Hercules redevelopment plan as set forth on the September 22nd, 2020 resolution of Sarah attached hereto as Exhibit A are hereby referred to the Borough Planning Board for their review in accordance with the provisions of Section 48:12A-7E.
Thank you for that, Jessica. Need to open to the public now at this point, so if anybody in the public wishes to speak on this resolution, please press star 9 now. Okay, seeing none at this time, I will entertain a motion.
I move that the resolution, public portion be closed and resolution be approved on roll call vote.
Is there a second?
Roger.
Thank you, Councilman.
Roger.
Thank you, Councilman Delina. And roll call, please, Jess.
Councilpersons Novak. Yes. Conti.
Yes.
Delina.
Yes.
Enriquez.
Yes.
Mar.
Yes.
Roberts.
Yes.
Okay, thank you all very much. We'll move on to the Borough Attorney. Mr. Dupont, any report or statements?
No, only a glib and probably a pun statement, but Jen or Jess did a Herculean effort to get this ordinance and this resolution on this evening. I'm not quite sure if everyone knew we've been working on this for the last, let's see, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. So kudos to Jess. She did a great job just getting on this because it was a situation to get on it. So thanks, and other than that, that's it.
Thank you for that.
And I do like the pun.
I always second whenever we say Jess is amazing, because she is. So thank you. We will open to the public now at this point for any and all comments. If you wish to speak, please press star 9. Now, Mr. Rittenhouse, state your name, please, and address for the record.
Good evening. Arthur Rittenhouse, 33 Delacat Lane, Sayreville. A couple of hopefully quick questions. One for Mike. Anything on Fulton's Landing?
Yes, I knew that you would ask at the meeting. I did reach out to Mr. Lair to find out what's going on. He had requested a number of days ago to speak directly to the prosecutor. He was unable to get a hold of the prosecutor. I don't know if it was because of the high holiday or whatever. So there has been an extension given to Mako attorney to speak to the prosecutor. So I hope to have an answer here in the next 30 to 45 days. The deadline was on Tuesday. Was on tomorrow, and because of the inability to get a hold of the prosecutor, there's been an extension given so that Mr. Lair can speak directly to the prosecutor.
Thank you, Mike.
Anything else, Mr. Rittenhouse?
Mayor, I may have missed it. I got in a little bit late. Did you discuss during your COVID thing the possibility of opening Borough Hall?
We did not. I just gave an update of our numbers at this point. That is something that I know that the business administrator does have constant conversations about when we will be able to safely open up Borough Hall. Right now, in the interest of our employees, no change has been made in reference to that. But each day that goes by, we once again reassess. One of the things that we also have to be mindful of with the reopening of our Borough Hall buildings is the additional cost of the sanitizing and the abilities in order to do that. Because once we start letting the public in, we have to start using additional protocols in order to do that. So we are very happy. I think for the most part, and the council can weigh in, we have been able to provide the services needed to the public without still providing access to the building. For the most part. So I actually don't think that we've had to shut down any real services with the exception of obviously the senior center being closed. But as far as being able to do bill pays, to pay taxes in order to get things taken care of regarding zoning and permitting, all of those things have been handled really because our employees have been wonderful. Here at the clerk's office and all of the other buildings, we've been finding very creative and innovative ways in order to meet with people. So we have not discussed that reopening.
One of my concerns was that people who are chairs of commissions don't have access to the building, and I've had a problem with that. And I also have a check that I've been trying to get to Denise. I've left messages and I have no answer. But as a commission chair, there's things in the building that I should be able to get to conduct business. I had to be outside on the hood of my car with tax maps with the assessor because I'm not allowed in the building. So I think for people who are trying to do business that are chairs of committees or commissions, I think there should be an exception to that.
Well, I will say that even as a council, I know that we have very limited access and including myself, I try not to come into the building to keep everyone safe. One of the things that I did discuss with Dan a while back, and the weather luckily has still been pretty positive, maybe we can turn around and set up in certain areas a little bit of an outside type of office with a table and a tent in order to protect like from sun and things like that. So that way things like that don't happen. I know I spoke to Kirk Mick over at Code for those situations as well, because we have individuals that come in order to do very similar things. But I think in the interest of everybody's safety, I am very proud of the fact that as of right now, and this is a minute-by-minute moment, a minute-by-minute thing, I don't want to actually say the words, but our staff is not reflected in the 866 positive cases here in the town. And I think it really is a testament to the fact that we have been very strict and very careful, and I know the employees appreciate that. So I hear you, Art, 100%. We will definitely make arrangements for you to take care of whatever type of check pickup you need to. Denise, you're on the call, so can you make sure that you get in contact with Art regarding whatever he needs to drop off?
Yes, Mayor, I will definitely, but I'll be honest with you, I didn't know anything about this. I have not received anything. Art, you're free to send me an email and I will respond, or call me.
I did send an email this week.
Oh,
I apologize, I did not get it, but we are free to, call me or send me another email.
And I'll call you tomorrow.
wonderful.
Okay, that'd be fine, thank you.
Okay, thank you. One more quick question. This has to do with the election coming up. The drop box that's outside, and we have a camera. My questions about the camera is who monitors that, and how long is the tape kept for that camera? And I don't know if that's a question that anybody here can answer, or if it's the county, and I did send a request to the county also.
I'll defer over. I'm not certain if Jess has that answer or if Mr. Frankel does. Jess, again, our amazing
Mayor-
clerk, she has the answer.
Mayor, if I may?
Oh, go
Mayor,
ahead,
if I
Dan.
may? Okay. The camera that is on the Dropbox right now has we've actually been checking to make sure of the limit of the time or the maximum of the time. We believe that it's good for approximately 30 days. We want to be safe to make sure that it will be able to, anybody can view that for 30 days. There is a distinct possibility we're looking at now with our IT person that we actually may put a second camera directly on the Dropbox, so there's no question of any overlapping of the viewing of the Dropbox. And I'll be able to probably get back to you within a week's period of time to let you know that.
All right, my concern is if there's any challenges with this new method of voting, that those tapes should be kept, because a month from now or 3 months from now, they may be needed.
They will be kept. They will be kept due to any challenges that may occur.
Okay, but not erased between now and then. That's, my concern. I know you said the 30 days.
There's a limit on the time, so we're concerned about the limit on the time. So it'd be safe to present one camera as one. It's almost like your DVR, but we're going to present one and then probably add a second one just to be sure, just exactly for the case that you just brought up.
Perfect. Okay, thank you very much. That's all. Everybody stay safe and have a good day.
You too, Art. Same to you. Stay safe and be well. All right, looking in the public, Mr. Robinson, please state your name and address for the record.
Thank you very much, Mayor. Jim Robinson, 11 Burrell Square in Harlem. Good evening. I hope you're all doing well. I have to tell you, first of all, it's great to see 4 women sitting up there in the council chambers.
Thank you for that, Art.
Last month,
Oh, no, Art, I'm sorry, Jim. I apologize. I didn't switch over officially here in my mind. Thank you for that, Jim.
last month, you passed an ordinance limiting Wawa truck traffic, and that's great. The people wanted that, and the council acted quickly to implement it, so I commend you for that. That's a great thing. My concern today is that when the Fulton Landing warehouses are built on Main Street, and that's, as you know, 1.8 million square feet of warehousing, or approximately the size of 90 Wawas, trucks exiting the site can't make a left turn. They're going to be forced to go right. But if they make 2 rights, they'd be on Washington Road. So to get to the Turnpike or Route 18, they travel past the high school, past Kennedy Park, past the library, past the middle school, past the temple, past the Hercules redevelopment project that you were talking about, which I think is also a little over 1 million square feet. Very busy road that's going to be. So it's a simple fact that when trucks are necessary, while trucks are necessary, they're noisy, they create vibration. When they go slow, they create traffic. When they go fast, they're dangerous. And we all know they destroy roads. So the last thing we need is more truck traffic in the center of town. So I would like to suggest that you implement a strategy to require those trucks from the Fulton's Landing Warehouse to use the Main Street extension and not travel to Ernstton or Washington roads. Years ago, I chaired the planning board when the Main Street extension was built, and we created it to take warehouse truck traffic from Morris warehouses out of town and to the highways quickly. Main Street extension is a straight road. It doesn't have the S-curves that Ernstton Road has, and it doesn't have the pedestrian traffic that Washington Road has. And there are a lot of strategies called route restriction procedures that can be implemented to direct that traffic to the extension where it can easily access Route 9, 35, 287, 440, the Turnpike, any of those other roads, and stay off local roads. And I'd like to hear the thoughts of the governing body on this, and I thank you very much for your consideration.
Thank you for that, Mr. Robinson, and thank you. I did receive your letter. I think the entire council received your letter also. And I think, and I know Councilwoman Novak, you're on Sarah, and is Mr. Conti, Councilman Conti is also still on Sarah too. And I know it was something that was discussed very often in reference to that project, and I'm assuming that our commissioners are still looking at that.
It's something we're looking at very, I am, at least.
Me too.
You know, making that decision.
You know, so Mr. Robinson does make a good point, and I know the chairman of Sarah was going to look at if they could be granted side street access to make a left when they get up to Main Street. And then the other thing that we had said was, you know, let's get somebody around looking at the police department to see what we can do, what we're capable of doing there to keep them off that road. Because I understand and I agree. Less truck traffic would be better.
Is that Mr. DuPont? What's that? Is that Mr. DuPont speaking?
No,
No,
that's
this is-
Councilman Conti. Councilman Conti, who also serves.
Oh,
on
okay,
Sarah.
thank you.
So,
Thanks.
So, you know, I was happy to hear the chairman having some thoughts on that. And then I thought we left off the conversation where we were aligned on. I know he had spoken with Dave Samuel, the engineer, and he commented on the road itself and that it is capable of handling truck traffic. It was built that way, he said. But
The Main Street extension was certainly built that way.
absolutely.
That was built on service warehouses, and it was built that way, unlike some of the other roads. But Vince, did I hear you properly? They're thinking of allowing trucks to make a left, which would put them on Main Street to get to Route 18 or the Turnpike. Is that?
so
We were assured at the meeting that would not take place, and one of the things that I met with Mr. Marco, and asked him to move the driveway, the exit from his warehouses closer to the Main Street extension so that trucks would be on Main Street for the shortest possible period of time. And he said he would consider that, and he had his engineers look into that to see if he could do that. So that
what they're doing is coming out of the property, they can only make the right. The chairman was looking at one of the side streets, if they can come out through the side street and get to the light and then make a left, not right out of the property across Main Street, but at the light. So I think that he was exploring that to see if that was an option, if it was a better option or not.
I don't know that truck traffic on Main Street is a better option than truck traffic on Washington Road, especially when 3/4 of a mile away is the Main Street extension, which we built, that I was involved. I was chairman of the planning board. We built it for the sole purpose of getting trucks out of town quickly towards 35 and 9 and the turnpike and 440.
I'll say this, Mr. Robinson.
I would say putting them on Main Street is every bit as bad as putting them on Washington Road.
Mr. Robinson, I'll tell you, and it's been a while since I've been on Sarah, but as I've said many times, it was my favorite commission, my favorite board to serve on. And I was on during a lot of this discussion and follow this and continue to follow this, even though I'm not on the redevelopment agency. One of the main problems that we had in discussions in reference to Fulton Landing was specifically relating to traffic. And we made it abundantly clear as a council collectively that the trucks we were going to do everything humanly and legally possible in order to restrict the traffic flow of trucks out of that particular site. And that is exactly what you were saying, Mr. Robinson, actually directing that traffic to make the right and actually push it out onto the Main Street extension, not to go left, not to continue to add additional truck traffic onto Main Street, which we know they used MacArthur and then access going through South River to Route 18. That was something that we really unanimously up here as a board, as a council, said that we were going to fight tooth and nail for. I don't know if those conversations have changed. I don't believe they have, but I don't want to discredit what Vince is saying because he does serve on the redevelopment agency, but Councilwoman Novak's not certain of that conversation either.
The left we were talking about was the Main Street.
Yeah, the Main Street extension. And I agree with you, Mr. Robinson, that the more traffic that we can keep off, truck traffic we can keep off of North Ernston Road, with the exception, obviously, of you have ShopRite and the rest of those stores that need to receive their deliveries. But the remainder of that truck traffic, anything that is taken out of those warehouses, really needs to be directed to North Ernston Road. Not to mention, you have that train bridge right there with low clearance. There's been multiple times where I've been traveling through there and trucks don't realize, I don't make that clearance, and they get real close. They might even skim the top of that. So, Mr. Robinson, you definitely have my support on that. I'll continue to echo how important. Councilwoman Novak is already, hand is up, saying the same thing. I'm sure Councilwoman Marr will continue to advocate for that, because none of us want to encourage not just one right, not two rights, but definitely not three rights onto Washington Road, like you were saying. So, again, thank you for that letter, but we'll definitely look into that. Please bring this messaging back to the redevelopment agency, both Council President Novak and Councilman Conti.
Thank you very much. I appreciate your response.
No, of course, Jim.
Great.
Anything else, Jim?
No, that's it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
All right, I'm going to go to the caller that is actually. I'm going to try and go in order here. Jean, I only have you as Jean on here, so can you please state your name and address for the record?
My name is Jean Quinn, and I live at 59 Park Shore Way, Carlin.
Okay. Go ahead, Jean. You can ask your question or state your comment.
Okay. Before I get to my concern, I would like to thank you and the council for your service to our city. You've done a great job. I wasn't born here, but I've lived here quite some time. My concern is about the warehouse and the traffic on Ernston Road and also on Main Street and Washington Road. I have some business knowledge of working with developers and contractors, and you need to get it in absolute writing, because saying that they're going to try means nothing. I'm sorry if I'm offending anyone, but
no, Jean, you're I'm on point with you, Jean. I agree with you.
The other thing I wanted to mention is when I first moved to Sayreville, I lived on Main Street, and I'm not sure if people realize how unsafe it is. Not just because the trucks are going down the road and there are children waiting for buses, my carbon monoxide detector would go off on occasion. That's how polluted it was. And our children, they don't need that. My other concern is I always consider the intersection of Washington and Ernston Road to be our education hub. The high school, the middle school, the library. Going the other way, we have a grammar school. I don't think we need lots of trucks going by, taking a shortcut to Route 18 and Route 9. My last concern might be like total nonsense, but I'm wondering how much this would impact the police department. We're going to have a lot more trucks going through. They may be overweight. They may be haven't been inspected, or they haven't checked the emissions. I just, is there going to be a weigh station?
Yeah, that's
Because,
definitely
we're
not
talking
something we would handle. That's
a lot of trucks.
That would not be handled by the local police, that would be state or federal. That would be, stopping trucks and checking for their stickers or their log books on their sleeping time and stuff like that. Local police do not handle that.
The state police don't work for free.
I agree.
My knowledge of it is there are cities in New Jersey that do not have their own police department. They pay to have the state police provide services to the town. I may be, totally wrong, but that had occurred to me.
No, thank you for.
I've noticed when I was in Jersey City not too long ago, I commented to my son, who was a trooper, why were there so many state police there? And he said it was because I don't know whether it was the mayor or whatever, no overtime was approved, so they were hiring state police.
Thank you very much for your comments, Jean. I don't know if you had anything more. I just wanted to say that, much like you, the rest of the council here is eagerly awaiting when this redevelopment plan actually gets presented and put before us. Right now, it is actually at the table of the redevelopment agency, and all of these concerns are things that when you speak here, we ask that the two council members that are seated up here bring back the concerns of the residents, so that way, and we're gonna continue, like I said, definitely the two ladies that are on my left and on my right feel the same way, as I'm sure everyone on the phone, in reference to making certain that the truck traffic and the regulations that we can impose will be imposed. And I agree with you, in writing means everything, because gone are the days when my grandmother used to say that you can make a deal on a spit and a handshake. It's not that way anymore. You really do need to have it clear and concise. So I'd also like to say thank you for your.
If I may mention one more thing, which I thought of. Fortunately, I haven't had to go to traffic court lately. So I don't know, but I know that it was always very busy because of the state police barracks that was right there by Sayreville. So anyone who got a ticket would have to go to the Sayreville Police Court. I don't know if that's the case since they located down to Homedale. I don't know how traffic, if trucks get citations or tickets or whatever, if that will increase too, which means that using the extension is much safer.
I know that if a citation is issued within our jurisdiction, even if it's out on a highway, they would come to the court in our town. Whether it's, if a truck is issued something because they don't have mud flaps, they're going to go to the town that citation was issued at. It would be issued by the state police or who's ever out on the highway issuing tickets, but they have to come to the local municipal court.
So, thank you for that. I didn't realize that either. But Jean, I would like to also just say thank you for your kind words when you had stated your appreciation for our service. It's definitely not easy up here, and especially within the last 9 months since we've been dealing with COVID. So I appreciate your kind words, and we will continue to advocate and definitely bring your concerns, which seem to mirror the concerns of Mr. Robinson as well. So thank you for that.
Thank you for your time.
Of course. Next, I see a couple of other hands over here. Ruth Mahoney, please state your name and address for the record.
Ruth Ann Mahoney, 2 Gerard Place, Parlin.
Hi, Ruth Ann. We haven't heard from you in a while.
No, I'm glad to be here. Glad to see everybody. Hope all is well. I must say thank you for being there. Thank you for your support on the truck issue, everyone. It is a very important issue. As you know, I've been talking about it for a very long time. And being that my house faces Ernston Road, and when I could sit out, I do, and I do a lot of walking now, it is a concern because there is increased truck traffic now. So I don't want to imagine what it will be like with the warehouses. There's a lot of extra dump truck traffic, tractor trailer traffic. So your support, I would greatly appreciate it. It's so needed for this town to get the trucks out of town the most efficient and safe way. So thank you again. And everybody be well, stay well.
Thank you, Ruth. Same to you, Ruth. Thank you very much. Next I have, is that Mr. Sislo? It says Ava Sislo. Just state your name and address for the record, please.
Yes, it's Robert Sislo, 22 Driftwood Drive.
Hello.
Parlin.
Okay.
Hi. I just wanted to say about the truck traffic. You know, the development over here that we've been working on that for a while, and it's still ongoing. But I think it's very important that any new development, whether it's warehouses or strip malls or anything, the traffic for trucks should be taken very seriously. You have an 80,000-ton vehicle that is traveling down streets, as people have said, with kids going through neighborhoods, and it takes an awful lot to stop that vehicle. And the other thing is that most of these vehicles, if you see, even in the pictures that I send you here, we have a 15 and 25-mile-an-hour speed limit to our neighborhood. The trucks that come through here, they're not doing 15 to 25 miles an hour. The house is shaped. We're worried about the infrastructure where the ground is shaking. We have the gas mains being replaced because they're old. People are going to have sewer lines that are going to be going bad. So I think any of this development that is going on, the number one priority besides everything else, I think the truck traffic should take precedence on that.
I agree with you, Mr. Sislo, and again, you're living that firsthand. Just so that you know, I did forward over once again to Sergeant Braille, because now we're at the point where the signs have gone up in your development. We've made contact now with Wawa, with Starbucks. Mr. Frankel and Mr. Dupont have both actually visited to put the managers on those two properties of those two businesses on notice. And then I had also asked Mr. Frankel to reach out to their corporate agent, to the corporate offices, because, and obviously we're working on the enforcement over there as often as we can. Mr. Frankel, were you able to get in contact with anybody at corporate between Wawa and Starbucks?
I have not. Actually, I had a couple names out of Starbucks out of the state of Washington. There aren't a lot of people apparently at their offices. I've had an email that I've been trying to communicate with someone, and Wawa gave me the district manager, but not their corporate offices.
So even though we're trying our best to contact the corporate offices, we are at the point now where our police officers are just looking to enforce the ordinances in place, and now anyone in violation would be fined accordingly. So Again, I thank you, Mr. Sislo, for all of your help with that, because the information you provide us gives us targeted times sometimes in order to be over in that site. Eventually, as they start getting fined for these trips, they'll eventually going to start stopping, because it's going to start costing the company and those truck drivers a lot of money. So I haven't given up on your fight, so please, you know, keep those videos and those times coming. I will always forward them over.
I'm very patient. Thank you.
Thank you. Let's see, next I have, Ruth, your hand is still up. Did you have something else to add, or was that just up again? I think she might have just had it up, from before. Did it go back up again, Nicole, or it did? I'll hold Ruth on calling you back into the meeting. Oh, no, she's in. Okay,
Here
go
I
ahead,
am.
Ruth.
So, Ruth Ann Mahoney, 2 Gerard Place. I'm sorry, I did neglect. I don't know if Mr. Frankel or anybody has an update to the Washington Road North Ernst pedestrian crossing.
Mr. Frankel,
For the painting and the new signs that were supposed to go up.
Yes. That did not go up.
They did paint the curbs.
No, the painting and the flashing lights, it's not up.
Mr. Frankel, can you find out where we are with that? Because that's been quite a while. I remember that's like a post-COVID thing.
Yeah.
Ruth will definitely, Mr. Frankel, unless you have an answer, if not, I'm gonna ask that you, reach out and find out exactly where we are with that.
Okay.
Okay.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
No problem, Ruth. Next, I have one more hand up, calling in from the number 8709. Please state your name and address for the record, please.
Hi, good evening, Mike Gianelli, 25 Embroidery Street.
Hi, Mike, what's your question?
I'd like to talk about the current topic, and then I have another topic I'd like to discuss as well. So I just want to say that I'm for the truck route in favor of Main Street over Washington. I do not think that the trucks, given Main Street, with all that commercial activity over there, that should just be strictly the truck route. And Washington Road, several people I heard bring up about the education hub right there. That's true. You got a lot of, it's crazy in the morning during when schools are in session to get traffic up or down that section of Washington Road. And imagine just being backed up with a whole bunch of trucks added to that line of already cars and traffic and people trying to get around town, going to work and things like that. So that's going to be a big issue there, plus the safety issue that was already brought up. I just would like to limit my support to those claims that were previously made. Just, I'd like to say anything you can do in favor of the truck traffic, moving it so that Washington Road is not used as that shortcut through town. That, I think, would really be beneficial for safety reasons. So thanks for taking that up. The other issue that I would like to talk about is based on the last session that I'd like to just recap if I can. So far, I haven't received any phone call or any kind of communication. I was guaranteed by both Councilwoman Conti and Mayor Kilpatrick that I would certainly get something regarding my concerns last week in the form of a phone call. If you recall, I brought the traffic issues around town as an issue to your attention.
Mr. Conti?
I'm going to speak to that. Yeah, I'll speak to it. I spoke to Sergeant Braille and the chief about the safety concerns right after the council meeting. And I followed up with Sergeant Braille. He knows I gave him I made sure that he had your information, your number, and he was to call you and either to come by or discuss with you. I know that he did tell me he did not have a chance to do so yet. I know I'm sure that he's understands with a couple of things surrounding the latest situation that we have been speaking about. But he did say he's going to make an appointment to call you this week, and I'll follow with him until he does, because I do want him to get out to see you and, you know, just get a better feel for what's happening there and give me some sort of proposal on what he might consider doing to make it safer around your neighborhood.
So, just so I understand, this right now is up to Sergeant Braille as a concern for certain areas. He's going to start the process of taking action to do anything at this moment.
Yeah, so Mr. Ganelli, Sergeant Braille is the head of our Traffic Safety Bureau, so,
Yes, I understand.
yeah, so what will happen is once, you know, he's going to put together some information. He does need to reach out to you. Thank you, Councilman Conti, for following up again with Sergeant Braille and making sure that he makes that contact. And then it's really in the hands of our Traffic Safety Bureau in order to provide the recommendations to the council with what to do in any area that they feel is a danger or a problem. As a council, we don't have that authority to turn around and just make changes to anything from even putting up a street sign we can't do without the recommendation and plan put in place by the Traffic Bureau. That's a very, very...
I can understand that. I do understand that. You know, you have needs that you have to take up and vote on when it comes to the concerns that there's a lot of feedback somewhere. I'm sorry, I apologize. But there are. I understand that there's a process. You know, I just think that I was expecting that when you said that you would get in touch with the people that would want to come out, that for sure the expectation at that time I made very clearly that I would appreciate the follow-up from Mr. Conti, since he said that he was going to get in contact with Sergeant Braille. If that phone call isn't made and I'm not aware of anything until I come into a council meeting to bring it then to your attention, because rightfully so, I would expect that if I didn't bring it to your attention, this specific issue, I mean, isn't even mentioned until I spoke of it. I mean, I don't want to go out of line here saying that nobody would do anything, but I would like to suggest that it's unfortunate that we have to come and wait 2 weeks for something to be done, and a phone call still hasn't been made and guarantees were made. And so that's a little discerning. And so I'll just leave it at that. I treat this opportunity that I'm given to come to the council meeting to say something seriously about an issue of grave concern, that a little bit of effort to make good on a guarantee was nothing short of what a normal person would expect.
Mr.
And I'll just
Ganelli?
leave it there.
Mr. Ganelli, this is
But,
Councilwoman
you know,
Marr speaking.
Mr. Ganelli, Councilwoman Marr would just like to make a statement.
Hi, I just want to follow up and let you know, again, for the third time, I think I'm telling you that I'm one of your neighbors. And if what I did do after the last meeting is I did tell all of my neighbor friends on embroidery that you did call into the meeting and share your concerns, and they attested to the same thoughts. And I do have them all on board. So when Sergeant Braille does contact you, I'm sure he'll want also the support of your neighbors, which I have ready. And he did the same process with those neighbors on Pulaski as well. So things are moving.
Ms. Marr, I would have to say I really appreciate what you're doing. And yes, for 3 times in a row, you reminded me that we're neighbors, and it's unfortunate we haven't gotten together as neighbors to see each other and discuss some of these concerns, which I'm open to, by the way. And the last thing I mentioned was something else I'd like to actually bring, and that is actually, in fact, you to know that as a council, that myself and others on another concern brought our opinions on other platforms, and that being some Facebook community pages. And it would seem that there is a member of the council that is sharing my concerns for, in some cases, neighborhood beautification, and others like pollution, health hazards, safety hazards, and other concerns. I'd like to acknowledge that woman, and that would be Ms. Marr. And thank you for recognizing the parks and the concerns that I had brought up on that matter. And I'd like to also recognize those parks personnel that were starting to clean up in the water I saw. So just in closing, thank you, Councilwoman Marr, and please extend the same to those that are doing the good work.
Thank you, Mike. I definitely always want to share whatever I notice that's going on, and I think our social media pages are doing just that, and they're fulfilling the purpose for what it was intended to.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Ganelli.
I appreciate you. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good night. Let's see, without seeing any other hands raised,
Will the public portion be closed?
is there a second? Oh,
Somebody else there?
yes, somebody else did.
Okay,
just-
I take my motion back.
Okay, rescind that motion, and there's a second to do so. There was one more quick hand raised, so I'll give the last four digits of the number. Please state your name and address for the record. 0047? If you're calling in from the phone number 0047, I have you as a hand raise, which means that you're in the public portion. You'll just have to unmute yourself. I'm not sure if you're calling in from a cell phone or not, so it doesn't give me that. It doesn't look like it, so
There's no,
star six, if you're calling in from a landline, you would have to hit star six on your phone in order to unmute yourself, and then you would be in the public portion. There we go. All right, so who's ever calling in from 0047, you're no longer muted, so please state your name and address for the record. All right, we're almost there. You're definitely unmuted, but we can't hear you. So it could be a volume thing. I know we're okay on our end, so wherever the disconnected is under the 0047 number. Unfortunately, we cannot hear you. Give that another minute and see. We can continue to work on the issue. There is another public portion on under the agenda session. So, they went on mute again. So, with that, unfortunately, I still see the hand raised. Oh, it's back out. We'll try it one more time. Can you hear me? 0047, state your name and address for the record. There's definitely a technological disconnect. So I don't know if that person can still hear me, but while they continue, maybe they can try and call in from another number, maybe a cell phone, or disconnect and then call back into the meeting and see if that will work. We do have another public portion in the agenda session, so I'll gladly pull you into that meeting and have you speak first when it's time for public session. With that, now I'll
will the
entertain a
public
motion.
portion be closed?
Second.
Roll call, please. Oh, we can do an all in favor, yeah. All in favors, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Motion to adjourn.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Aye.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, does anybody need a break, or we can move right into the agenda? Are you okay, Mayor? I think we're good. Okay.
Debate. I want to get home.
I know, everybody is anxious to see that debate, which I believe, what does that start at 7? All right, ladies and gentlemen, please rise again for a salute to our flag, and then we'll get started with our next agenda. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you all very much. Jessica, statement of publication again, please.
Take notice that this agenda session meeting of the mayor and council being held on this 29th day of September 2020 has been advertised and posted in accordance with Open Public Meetings Act, Chapter 231, Public Law 1975.
Roll call, please.
Councilpersons Conti,
Yeah.
Delina,
Here.
Enriquez,
Present.
Mar,
Here.
Novak,
Here.
Roberts.
Here.
Our professionals, the business administrator,
Present.
CFO,
Here.
engineer.
I think he's still here, right? There he is.
Jay, are you there?
Yes.
And the attorney.
Here.
All right. Thank you very much. We have no old business at this point. We're going to move over to communications and committee reports. Councilwoman Roberts, please.
Thank you, Mayor. I have minutes and departmental reports for the municipal clerk's monthly report and the CFO's investment activity report to receive and file.
Is there a second? Thank you. You may continue.
There's also bingo and raffle for OLV and St. Sam, and a notice of public hearing for Verizon. Approve OLV and St. Sam's bingo license.
Wait a minute, hold on. Councilwoman Roberts, I definitely have a different agenda in front of me. Hold on. That's okay. I'm gonna just flip to my packet. I'm sorry, Councilwoman Roberts, I have my packet. Do you have your packet? We can, hang on one second, Councilwoman Roberts. We just have the old page.
Do I have an old page? Another one submitted?
No, you're 100% correct. We were working off of the documents that were in front of us. The actual folder has the proper agenda in it. And as a matter of fact, when Jess comes back, well, that was just an introduction for the ordinance, so we didn't have to do anything with that. Just give us 2 seconds, Councilwoman Roberts. Our clerk is just going back to get 2 additional copies of the current agenda.
It's on my phone.
Yeah, it's on your phone. Yeah. Do you have yours?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
With me, so.
Oh, so, well, Jess,
One time I didn't.
we can't continue because we lost Jess. Tell her we would only need one. Actually, Councilwoman
Tell her
Mar
I have
has
it
it
on
on
my
her
phone.
phone.
Yeah, we don't need it.
If she doesn't need to make a copy, we'll work off of, Michelle will work off her phone, and I have my hard copy, and so does Mary.
It's a funny thing, because I originally pulled it out.
Yeah. I got it.
You got it up there. It'll give me a second to make some signatures.
We're waiting.
Oh, do you want me to check? Yes, there you go. You roll. We're okay, Jess.
We're good.
Councilwoman Mar's going to work off of her electronic
Digitally.
copy,
And I have my.
and I have my paper copy, so does Mary. Mary has a copy.
I can't wait for the iPads that are on order.
I know, that will be great.
Thank you.
Thank you for your patience, everyone. Councilwoman Roberts, we are back in business. You can continue with the remainder of your report.
All right, and so approve bingo licenses and raffle licenses to OLV and St. Sam.
Any objection? No. Okay, you can continue.
And a notice of public hearing for Verizon with renewal of their franchise to offer cable television service over fiber to the premises network. To receiving file that.
Second.
Thank you. Okay, anything else, Councilwoman Roberts, under committee reports?
No, I think that is all for me today. Thank you, Mayor.
You're very welcome, and have a
Councilwoman
great
Roberts?
evening. Oh,
Mayor,
Councilwoman
if I may.
Roberts, Councilwoman Mar has a question.
The Verizon cable television service, is there any possibility of Wi-Fi?
No, this one's just the renewal service. but-
Just the renewal?
For the ones that currently have.
It's, with Mr. Frankel, they were not interested. I don't know if that changed in any way.
Mr. Frankel, can you speak on that? Were they, I mean, I know we try this all the time with them, begging and pleading
Exactly.
for them to run more. Any change?
There's no interest on them expanding their service right now.
I know, it's so frustrating.
So it's entirely up to them.
It is.
So we've requested
Yes.
unlimited amount of times and and we're getting denied.
Yeah, they don't want to put in the money in order to do the infrastructure. Apparently, one of the reasons why we actually got some of the areas in town many, many moons ago, long before I sat here, the reason why they came in was because it was it state or federal money that they received in order to lay additional fibers throughout towns. It was basically state money that was given to them, and they were basically told, use it or lose it. And then they went and they put in the, their fibers and their network in certain areas, but once that money ran out, that was it. So that's why it only hit certain parts of Saraville.
And I know there's issues with that one as well. I think
yeah.
just people want the option to have a choice, but it sounds like neither choice is a good choice.
No.
We can't even complain to the FCC anymore because it's been taken out of their control.
It's a
So-
deregulated agency now, which Mr. Frankel found out, when was it, last year or the year before, when I sent you on that wild goose chase of calling every single person that we could?
Correct.
Yes.
Correct.
And it's extremely frustrating what you see what other towns are doing, and we've signed on to this multiple times, the same thing, fighting, using our legislators, going to everyone from the congressman to the assembly speaker, fighting to turn around and make this some type of a regulated agency again, because we really are, it's frustrating, and so many other towns are in the exact same boat. I noticed that there was another town, I forget who it was, maybe it was Howell, that they have created a complaint line. We did that already. Councilwoman Marr was a part of making that happen, along with our technology director and other individuals. We set up a complaint line already, which you have access to by going to our Saraville.com site. Mr. Frankel, through his hard work, you were able to get us a representative, so those complaints go directly to Cablevision, am I correct?
That is correct.
So we've been extremely proactive now for months.
And after this month, with all the angry phone calls Mr. Frankel's receiving from parents that are trying to help their kids learn at home, if there was ever a time that he would make this happen, it would be now if it was in his control.
Absolutely. So thank you for that report. I'm glad that they are requesting the renewal for their system-wide franchise. That's a much better statement than saying that they want to cancel and not do a renewal. So at least those customers that do have Verizon options will see that renewal. Anything else, Councilwoman Roberts, you said nothing else under committee reports, am I correct?
Yes, that's correct, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Planning and zoning, Councilman Delina?
Thank you, Mayor. I move the following minutes and departmental report be received and filed numbers 1 through 3.
Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. Continue.
I move that we receive and file number 1 under B.
Is there a second?
Second.
Anything under committee reports?
Under net progress.
Thank you very much.
Also committee reports.
Thank you. Public safety, Councilman Conti, please.
Thanks, Mayor. I move the following minutes and reports be received and filed. Municipal court report, Board of Health registrar and county reports, as well as the police department report for the month of August.
Is there a second? Thank you. You can continue, Councilman.
All right, and thank you. So let's see, Louise Cruz been accepted as an associate member by Melrose Holy, country number 1. And Marcel Milewski accepted as a regular member by Melrose Holy, country number 1, at their September 14th meeting. Firefighters, welcome.
Very good. And welcome aboard. Anything under committee reports?
So just, real quick, I know Zoe was not happy, but I have spoken with the chief and Sergeant Braille about the safety concerns. They did assure me of a couple of things. I know let me down on contacting Mr. Gianelli. However, I know that he is looking into a bunch of different things for us. Speed signs, additional speed signs, and other. He's going to evaluate the traffic and safety situation and talk to me about some of his recommendations. We talked about a lot of different things. And I'm hopeful that I hear some sort of report from him on what he thinks might help make our streets safer. residents and the children. So, you know, I'm going to wait to hear back. I did, at the least, what he did tell me was that he was going to increase the police presence around the fields especially. And I know I did hear from folks that were at the field that that was in fact the case. They were there in numbers, and in fact they were actually, you know, pulling over many more people than they might have in the past. And just to reinforce the message about following the guidelines and, you know, and keeping people safe. So I was happy to hear about that. And those conversations will continue with Sergeant Brown.
Councilman Conti?
The other thing is yes.
So in our monthly grant writing report, we did receive notice that I believe we received grant money for 2 electronic signs. Maybe request one of those. Mention it to Sergeant Braille.
Now he knows. We talked about it. He's getting pricing on that and assessing locations for installation as well. So I hope to hear more from him on that very soon. But he's doing the legwork on those 2 signs now.
Thank you.
Thank you
All
for
right.
that.
And then the last thing for me, Mayor, is that I'm going to catch up with the Fire Chief McGaugh and just catch up with him about some concerns, how things are going, et cetera. I haven't met with him yet, but I am looking forward to meeting with him and just catching up and finding out about fire department and how we might work together, any concerns that he has or improvements that he may want to make.
So Councilman Conti, Fire Chief McGaugh is here actually right now. I don't know if you were able to hear him very well. He just said that he looks forward to meeting with you, and he'll be giving you a call, or you can communicate to one another, because he said he's been meeting with the different groups as public safety. So he looks forward to sitting down, or at least talking to you very soon. So I'm just kind of translating through, because you're it's a little garbled. It's a little hard to hear you through the microphone. So, and the guys were just looking, saying, he said your name, but we don't know what he said. So that's what he said. Thank you. Anything else, Councilman Conti?
No, that's it.
All right, thank you very much then. We're going to move on to our recreation report. Councilman Enriquez, please.
Thank you, Mayor.
You're welcome.
All right, I move the following minutes reports be received and filed. Recreation report for the month of August.
Can I have a second? Second. All right, and anything else, Councilman Enriquez?
Yeah, just before I get to our director's report, I just want to bring up the council and the mayor. We've had discussions of concerns about the turkey trunk this year. We would like to plan to go forward with it. We have quite a bit of protocols in place for safety reasons because of the COVID-19. I'm not going to get into all of them now because there's a laundry list of them, but pretty much would be how we're doing the movies. We register. We're planning on probably 4 different time slots to spread everybody out, all different types of safety protocols in it. I would like to, just bring it up to you guys to see if you have any concerns with us moving forward with the turkey trunk, because I really think this town and the kids would really like to go forward with the
I think that would be a fantastic idea. I think it kind of brings some normalcy to the children and with what's going on right now, and especially at Halloween. And it'll be a safe environment for them. So I think it's a fantastic idea, and I would like to move forward with it if no one else has any issues.
Any objections from the council?
Appreciate you working on it.
No, I'm sure everybody will be thrilled
Thank
to
you.
hear that.
Yeah, I think that, as always, our Councilman Councilman Enriquez and the work that the Rec Advisory Committee does with Jerry is always in the best interest of our kids in our town. So I can only imagine that you probably do have a laundry list of protocols. So if nobody on the council has an objection with that, what do you need us to do, Councilman Enriquez? just stay tuned.
Nothing. I just wanted to make sure that everybody was on board with this before, we move forward. But obviously, we have 2 other sessions before it would take place, so I would give more details about how we're going to work it on those. I just wanted to, before everybody started working on this and making sure, everything's safe, that we had, council approval on this.
It sounds like you do. I know it's going to be a Herculean task because it's one of our biggest events here within the town. But I'm certain that if anybody can get it done, your group can get that done for us. So we'll look forward to our next council meeting to see how you're able to put that together and what else you need. Okay?
All right, thank you. And we get the Jerry's report, real quick one. The rec office is still accepting the registration for the Fall Rec Soccer League, which started on September 26th. Registration is $3 for residents, $5 non-residents.
You're breaking up a little, Councilman Enriquez.
Sports complex. All right, I'll shorten it up.
I don't mind if it's long.
The registration, and just reminding everybody that we still have. We did stock the small ponds with at Kennedy Park with the fish. So for the fishing derby, so go out and get some fishing while the weather's still nice. And that's it. Mayor, progress.
Thank you so much for that update. Thank you. I appreciate it. And yeah, everyone's pretty excited about the fishing derby and the fish being stocked.
What is that?
What was the date on that, Councilman Enriquez, for the fishing derby? Yeah, you definitely.
I don't have it here right in front of me, but I will make sure that it is posted out. I'll make sure a blast goes out on it to, and make sure it's on the website so everybody knows.
Yeah, I think we still have some time for it, but absolutely, we'll definitely put that out through all of our social media sites. Thank you for that. We're going to move on now to water and sewer and environmental. Councilwoman Marr, please.
I move the following minutes reports be received and filed. The Water and Sewer Director's report for the month of August. There are no committee reports. And just hydrants are being flushed currently. So follow us on social media to learn when your area is next. And other than that, just wanted to thank the Public Works. Speaking of water, they were in the rowboat this week cleaning garbage out of the lake. Everyone loved to see it. I think they need their own Facebook page to post daily what they're doing. Everyone is very appreciative. And I heard so many times this week about how there used to be rowboats in Kennedy Lake and how people are, Kennedy Park, and how people are nostalgic and want them back. So I don't know.
We need a little more depth in the lake again, because right now the paddle boats, you'd be walking out to them instead of,
But our service request forms are working. So instead of complaining online, please fill out a service request form. They are being fulfilled.
Thank you for that very
I
much.
just have one question. I heard you mention the report from the grant writer. I had asked to receive a copy of that. I received the first one. It was very important.
I had to request as well. I haven't gotten them either. I think Mr. Frankel is getting them.
Mr. Frankel, could you make sure that we get them? Because I received the original one and then nothing after that.
It's only when I reach out to them is when they respond to me.
The request of the grant writer for the report, you're saying?
Yeah, we asked that once a month that we get a report. And we did the first month and it was very, very informative. And then we never got another one.
I will check with them tomorrow.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, Council President Novak, Public Works, please.
Yes, I'd like to motion to receive and file the minutes as listed under the end under A1 and 2.
Is there a second?
Can't second my own.
Second.
Thank you. Committee reports.
Okay, 2 things. Okay, I already said that report, the grant report. Mr. Frankel, this was mentioned several years ago. The post office uses our parking lot over on Algier Street. And back when things were done with a handshake, they agreed to maintain the parking lot for the use of it. They've never maintained it. We just spent a small fortune fixing it. And I really think that they should start paying a fee for in there. Mr. Franklin told me he tried to reach out with them and they threatened to just move all of their vehicles out onto the street. I don't take well to being threatened by a federal agency. They've been using this parking lot for nothing for, God knows how many years. We charge our own residents a parking fee to get on a bus to go to the city. And there they have exclusive use of a parking lot. And I really think that we have to make an effort to get some money from them or have them move out. And then just put up resident-only parking on the street because they can't park on Main Street. How does the council feel about that? We're always looking for money. And they're getting something for free.
Anybody have a comment? I think I hear what Councilwoman Novak is saying. I'll refrain from my comments unless anybody else has any. I'd rather. But I see kind of both sides of it. I agree with you. I don't like, sorry, go ahead. Did somebody have something to add?
Yeah, this is something that I understand you've been known about for a long time. And when did it start exactly? And when it started, what was the agreement, if any?
I think that's what Council Novak was saying, that it was their agreement they could use it, but they had to maintain it.
They have to maintain it, yep.
They had to maintain it.
And they do nothing, absolutely nothing. We just really spent quite a couple $100,000 fixing that parking lot up. And they're using it, and they've got, full use of it, and, basically thumbing their nose at us. And it's not right for the residents of the town.
You said that we had to perform some maintenance there also?
We don't do the maintenance to it. They have to. They're supposed to.
We did it.
No, yeah, we did the improvement, but we don't do regular maintenance on it.
Well, yeah, we do. We do it, we plow it too. They do nothing.
So if we, I think I would agree if we're doing maintenance and they agreed to pay for the maintenance. If they're not doing it, then they should pay for it.
It was a dangerous situation there with the potholes and everything. So we spent quite a bit of money putting up a retaining wall and paving the parking lot and striping it and everything. And according to Dan, when he approached them, they said, well, we'll just park on the street.
But moving forward, what kind of maintenance are you expecting? If it's just a parking lot?
Pay for the parking lot at this point, because we just spent a couple $100,000. What was that, Jay? Do you remember on Algier parking lot alone? What was it, about 150?
You're probably right there, probably in the 100,000 range for the upgrade.
They're not going to do that now. We've done it, so.
And it's our lot.
So,
It's our
Mayor,
lot. It's a
Mayor,
municipal lot.
Go ahead, Mr. Frankel.
Mayor.
Yes, you.
So when I spoke to the postmaster, who's only, obviously the postmaster is only for that specific facility, he said he was not a threat on his part, but he did say that you're not going to get money from the government for parking. So he did say, and I told Mary that they would park on the street. So I can go back one more time and speak to them, but if you don't want them to park in that lot, my best guess is they are not going to pay for it. So I would then suggest now, if you want to do something, you do some restrictions on resident parking on the street right now, or in the street in the area, because they will take those vehicles and park anywhere they can park on the street to keep the vehicles there until they feel some kind of other kind of pressure of where they can't park or walk to the post office.
And parking there is already an issue. Every time I drive by, it bothers my husband that there's cars parked on the crosswalk all the time. And we had an employee die a few years ago who lived right there. So that area right there is an issue with parking anyway, also with the Domino's issue.
Yeah. It's a tough call. Dan, can you please reach out to them yet again? I see both sides. I see the frustration that that Councilwoman Novak is saying. It is our lot. We are doing the maintenance. We are keeping it safe. Because it's our liability if we don't. So I can understand why we had to move forward and we did the paving and everything, because if God forbid somebody gets injured there, that becomes our liability. And again, they've been using this for probably, since horse-drawn carriages. But I also see a negative impact to our residents if we force them out of there and then they start utilizing those other spaces And then I think it puts an imposition on already a terrible place for our residents. So it's a tough call. Mr. Frankel, you said you'll make another call and and let us know what we can turn around and do. See if you can have a little bit of different conversation with him, and then bring that back to us again.
Sure.
It's just infuriating that our own residents, we put that parking lot in and we said, if you want to park here to get on a bus, you're going to pay. Or
Right.
we're going to ticket you. Well, how about if we ticket the post office truck? You know,
Yeah.
then we can get money in that way too. If they don't want to pay for the use of the parking lot, we can ticket them. Get money that way. It's just not right for the residents of this town. We're always looking for a little more revenue because we can't, you know, tax the crap out of the residents.
Yeah, well, we definitely don't want to do that. Anything else, though, Council President Novak? You're welcome. Let's see, that brings us to my report, and I say let's get to the debate. We missed a little bit of it already, so I think I've made my statements already for today. We'll move on to our business administrator's report. Mr. Frankel?
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Mayor. In your package, you received a item for a bond ordinance that Denise and I have worked with both our directors, our volunteer squads and things like that. So you see there's a bond ordinance for items that total $975,000. And you see also there's a bond ordinance for utility, for water utility of $300,000. So we took this very seriously. We're making these recommendations. One of the hardest things that we had to do actually is that we had promised last year, we had promised money, additional money for a fire truck. We just felt that at this time we needed to be cautious financially, so we believe we're not able to put that into the capital items. So both Denise and I are looking for your approval to move forward with both of these bond ordinance for the regular items and for the water.
I have so many questions. Do we want to drag this meeting on till 11? I suggest that we have a separate meeting for this because I have so many questions and I could take an hour asking about so many things on this list.
Is everyone in favor of doing that? So we can, so Councilwoman Novak can have her questions asked. This is our capital improvement budget. And that way, Denise, I know that you were working on quite a few reports, things that I had recommended through Dan, just because I'm a little neurotic right now with money and budget, regarding our quarterly revenues and our tax collection. I think that would be fair. We're dealing with a lot of decisions and a lot of money. And I want to make sure that we're all comfortable and understand what the recommendations are.
Because of COVID, our whole budget process was, cut short.
Yeah, it was circumvented by a
we
little.
usually have about 3 meetings. We had 1. We never really discussed the capital budget period. And yeah, I think something like that, it's already 8:30. I think something like this requires a special meeting.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. Dan, do you want to, or Jessica, I should say, do you want to turn around and we can work on dates that we can?
May I make a suggestion, Mayor? I think it's important, and I understand that. So maybe the Administrative and Finance Committee could have a meeting to discuss this. Maybe this could be worked out in their committee if they're all in agreement, and then they could be brought to the regular council at the next meeting.
I think that's a fair recommendation. I have no problem with that. So can you work on making that date with the Finance Committee? And then we'll look forward to hearing their recommendations or whatever it is that they feel is, get those questions answered. Is that okay with you? Is that Councilwoman Roberts?
Yeah, that would be great. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Okay, and I just want everyone to understand, Denise is on the line also, but as we get pushing this back, and that's okay, but Denise had a schedule for what it would take to do this bond ordinance. We believe that this schedule, Denise, correct me if I'm wrong, and that's fine. I don't mind waiting, but we'll probably end up being now towards the mid to end of November. Would that be correct if we were successful?
At least, if not until December, Dan.
Okay. Just want all the council people to understand that.
If it was such a push.
Okay, honestly, this is Councilman Enriquez. I have no problem if we take extra time to make sure we got this right in our spending. Good.
Yeah, and making sure that, that Denise is comfortable with that time frame as well, because again, I know that those deadlines and those things need to be put through at a certain time. So Denise, definitely make sure that your timeline is, secure and solid for everything that you need to do. And I'm certain that, Councilwoman Roberts will work to have that meeting sooner rather than later with her committee.
I will, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you very much then. Okay. Anything else? We're still moving through your report, Mr. Frankel?
Mayor, authorization to enter an agreement with Middlesex County for improvements to the intersection of Journey Mill Road, Washington Road, and Carter Avenue.
Yes, definitely no objections there. We got a hallelujah. Continue, please.
Okay. And we talked about Algier Avenue. The only other additional thing I'd like to tell everyone is that through the efforts of our police and myself and administration, we've been able to have free flu shots through an agreement with Parlin Pharmacy. We just went through one at police headquarters. We're going to have them all entirely there because they would be able to do it in their area, their vestibule area, and it's safe there. And if you check the Sayreville.com, I believe the next one is tomorrow, with the following one being October 3rd. So for all of our residents, we've been able to secure that on a free basis. That's whether you have insurance or not have insurance. So we ask our residents, please check Sayreville.com for the dates. And we thank Parlin Pharmacy for being our partner on this. That's all I have there. Thank you.
I have to compliment Sayreville Police on that being so well run. They got people in and out of there. You never had to go in the building. You didn't have to get out of your car. You just had a line zigzagging around the parking lot and just opened your car door and they gave you a shot. It was wonderful. My arm still hurts a little bit.
Now, that's a great partnership. And again, another fabulous business here in town that's just doing what they can to keep us all, safe and healthy. Thank you for that update, Dan. Anything else?
That's it, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Ms. Biancamano, CFO's report.
Yes, in your packet, you received the 2020 Best Practices Inventory. I'm happy to report that we will have no aid withholding. We have 16 plus questions answered correctly, thank goodness. So we should be receiving all of our aid. And the latest I saw on an email I received that Governor Murphy signed the budget, and I believe our full extraordinary aid we will receive all of it this year, thank goodness. So they didn't hold anything back, which is great. The next thing is I have an authorization to sell bond anticipation notes. They mature on November 12, 2020. So I'm just asking council for approval to go on and renew the bond anticipation notes.
Any objection to that? No objection. Wonderful. Anything else, Ms. Biancamano?
No, thank you, Mayor. That's it.
Thank you very much for that report. Now we'll move on to our borough engineer, Mr. Cornell.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Two items this evening. The first is the improvement to Algar Avenue project. That work's been completed and recommended we have a resolution closing out the contract and also having a net reduction final change order.
Any objection or comment? No, we're very, we love reduction. You make us happy, Jay. Next.
Second item is at your last meeting, you approved the bond ordinance for the road improvements for the upcoming year. So we're looking for a resolution authorizing the next phase, which is designing those roads.
Any objection on that? No? Wonderful. Keep going. Anything else, Jay?
That's all I have, Madam Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Borough Attorney's report?
No report, Mayor.
Thank you very much. No need for executive session. Can I I'll open to the public for any and all statements or comments at this point. Our attendee list has dwindled because everyone's watching. I'll ask for a motion that, hold on, Ruth Mahoney, go ahead, Ruth.
Give us an update.
Ruth Ann Mahoney, 2 Gerard Place. Just a quick question. People are questioning, asking about Halloween. Is Halloween on or off, or does it make a difference to council or the town? Is it a personal decision?
I have no intention on canceling Halloween. The governor hasn't canceled it, so.
Actually, the middle school's having a great fundraiser where you can buy a lawn sign that says it's on at your house.
I will,
Terrific.
yeah, I will say this, that, a couple of towns.
Yes.
They are,
yeah,
they
I'll
are.
forward you the info.
There's a couple of things that towns are doing, to kind of make people feel safe and to let people know. Purple pumpkins might be a little hard for some people, because you gotta get the pumpkin and the purple paint, but something very simple, and we can talk about as a council as Halloween gets closer. It's a red light, green light, yellow light, meaning red light, meaning, no, unfortunately, please don't knock. Green light saying, come one, come all, and a yellow light meaning a yellow piece of paper on your door is what I'm saying. Saying that, you can come, but there's a bowl there, or it's help yourself. So that might be something a little simple we can talk about if it's something that the council would like to do. I want all residents to feel safe, and I want, everybody that wants to go out and trick or treat to enjoy that time. So.
Since it's finally on a Saturday where they can have some daylight.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's on a
So
Saturday.
I think that we can definitely talk about that maybe, and put something out through social media to give people something simple. A red piece of paper, yellow piece of paper, a green piece of paper, so,
But advertise that sign, that's.
Great, great.
all right, but
And I'm
yes,
looking forward to
Every
this
year,
one.
right?
So,
yeah, and it's a very
Wonderful.
nice sign, it's $10, I believe, that the middle school is selling that, and it's a simple yard sign, and it says either we're open for Halloween, or no, I think it's no candy this year, come back next year.
The website to order is mysmspto.com.
So-
mysmspto.com.
And it's a cute sign, it's got some spiders and stuff on it, and pumpkins, so.
Trick-or-treaters welcome.
Thank you for your question, Ruth. Halloween is,
Thank you
is
all.
a go for right now, barring
I'm ready to see
anything.
your costume, Ruth.
Yeah. With that, I'll ask for a motion to close
the
pub.
public portion.
Is there a second?
Second.
All right, motion for adjournment?
Do we need a vote?
Oh, I'm sorry. I got so excited. All in
Aye.
favor?
Motion to adjourn.
Aye.
Is there a second for the motion to adjourn?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Have a great
Aye.
evening, everyone, and we'll see you next time.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. I love that voice. So, Chief, I have a number for you. I never like to give out numbers, so I'd asked Vince if I could give him yours, so. I know that, but it's just something that I do, like, it's, I'm gonna write it down on my pad here.
Thank you so much, I appreciate it, I like that idea. That is good.
You lost the, I know, I think we all did. We tried.
That's amazing.
I said less than an hour, though.
We were doing so
Yeah,
well.
well, see, I was good though, I said postpone this, because I had about 30 questions.
So I told him.
You don't
Yeah,
really
he's
want me to get into questions.
He's a good guy. Yeah, he's a
Oh, I'm sorry.
What do you call
Off
good?
the edge.
I think, he's met with,